Welcome to Art in 30. The last session was a class, really, or a demonstration on the techniques. Now what I'm going to show you is those techniques modified to a painting. Now this painting has the techniques of wet on wet. It has the technique of all the drops. And then you will have the background. The background is just color. And then what you do at the very end, you can do these little black squiggly marks in a permanent pen. And that is the technique that I'm going to show you. So we will remove this so you don't get ahead of yourself. And I will go step by step with this painting. So you can draw a little bit, you can draw a tree, you can trace it to any tree you want. Don't feel that you're cheating. It's your work, it's your paint, don't worry about it. So we'll go down the tree trunks with water. I'll just take the water here and you just take some of the water off so it doesn't drip. If it drips, don't worry. I don't usually paint sitting, with the easel up like this, but no problem. This is going to work because the water is going to go down. So you put it down like this. No, if the water, just go like this. It'll dry out. It'll dry out. So as you go down, look at the shine. There's a shine. Lethbridge has a very dry. So all your watercolor will dry very fast. So you just keep on putting water, but don't put loads like this when it drops. Take a little bit, take the water off, and go back in. Let it saturate it, because the water will activate on your watercolor paper, will kind of wake up all of those little, will activate the watercolor paper. Let's leave it like that. Okay, I'm looking on the side. I still have the shine. I go into, you can go into the blue. Your tree, this is going to be a birch tree. Birch trees are any color you want it to be. If you want it to be a mystical herb, like a mystical, you can put blue and pink and nice little yellows. But this time you go on the side and you just put it like this. You always have your tissue paper. You just put your tissue paper. Always have a paste of your tissue paper, Kleenex, and you just kind of dab. You just dab on the side, like that. Just, and take it out. You just go like this, and don't worry, because a lot of times it won't look what you want it to be right now. You clean your brush, you can go back in there, take another color, and you could just here, you just go like that. Just on the side. Here now. Now that's one. What you can do also, you let that side dry. Don't work at it anymore. Put your hands up. Go back. And you can go on this side. And this side, what you could do, I've showed you the wet on wet. Now this is dry. If there's too much water like this, just take a little bit off. And if you have a good brush, it'll just suck up the drops. So you just kind of go down like this, just at the edge. So you just kind of go underneath, because usually underneath it's a little bit darker. And then you can do the details later. There you go, it is. I've got some green in here, no problem. Just go back in there, wipe your brush, and then we'll get to the fun stuff later. And just put a little bit of brown, and put a little brown here. So you just whatever you cut, you put up here, you put down there. If you think it's too dark, just put it back. And you go to the side. There you go. And then you just keep on going. Whoops, see, that's a little dark. It's no big deal. Just go in there and just dab it off. Or if you don't want it, you just add some water and let it blend together. Same thing with here. You can just take water, go like this, and remove it. You don't like it, take some clean water, take the water off, and remove it. So there's really, you just let it go. Don't worry about it. You can fix it. You can fix it. So we just, here you just go in there like that. So, and you leave white, you leave some white, and now that's starting to get a little bit dry. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to go now just into the sky. So the sky, you can just water it. Put some water and just, it's just, this is kind of called just a wash. And then you can always, if you find that it's too dark or not dark enough, at the end, after it's dry, you can go back in there and fix it up. Just, oops, sorry. Oh, no problem. Go back in there. And it's the same thing with here. Just don't go, you just kind of take some of the color off. You take a little bit of green, and you just go in the background and bring it all the way down. Take the background, there we go, I'll do it a little bit darker. So when you see it light, just bring it down. And if it's too dark, because the back There we go. You see it'll all blend in. It'll just all blend in. And you can just blend it in. And you let it come down. If it doesn't come down, you put some water and you help it go down and you wipe it off. You help it go down. So this is another kind of darker color here. So you have to, there. And then when it's still wet like this, you can, take that off. You can add another color to it. You could put a little, just a little dark here in, just a suggestion of trees in there, and then just leave it. Just dab dab. It's a suggestion, so don't worry. There we go. Now the top, you'll have some there you go. You'll have some in there. That's just we just add a little bit of highlights here and there. There you go. So I just mix and mix and mix and just add. And then I'll just let it sit because now it has to dry. I can't do anything with it right now. So just have to wait for a while and let it dry. Otherwise, if I work at it too much right now, it's going to become muddy. So we'll just leave it to dry. And then once it's dry, I could fix it up. I can, if this is too dark, I can just remove it and we can fix it only after it's dry. Welcome back. Now we're going to continue with this painting. It's dry. You have to let it thoroughly dry before you do this step. Now we're going to do this step, these little dots. What you saw and what you did the last time, this is what we're going to fill in here. Okay, here we go. We dip the paint and we did puddles. If you remember the last time, we did different puddles of yellow, blue, and red. So if they mix up with the other paint, that you've had before, don't worry. It could be a fall day or it could be a spring day. Whatever you want it to be. So I am doing the red puddle now. Now I'm doing the blue puddles. And I will be doing the yellow puddles. Yellow puddles is mixing up with my orange. That's okay. You can mix up anytime you want. So you clean your brush, go into your clean water, clean your brush, take the water off your brush because we don't want the paint that you have just put down has enough water in it. So if you add more water to it, it'll dilute it and you won't be happy with it. So you take some blue, and here we go. Don't, you just go for it. You go, just put it here, and if you're going down there, take it off, and you notice the yellow and blue will make green. So you put it next to it, and it's okay if it drops. It'll just be part, and you go on top of the branch, and you put it here. You'll connect the branches or the twigs after. See, you just let it, you don't work at it. You just let it drop inside. Change paint, change color. Dip your color in your blue, in your red, and you will get another color. So if it comes down like this, here we go. Take a little brush, water, take the water, the paint off your brush, wipe it clean, and if you find that it's too much, this is called a thirsty brush. When you take the water off, you dip it, you just touch it, you see, it just takes it off. Sometimes you want that sometimes, so you just leave it. Go back in and just bring it down, just dot. Take some red, go back in, dot. Come on top, go down. And then, so really, that's about as much as you want to do. You can, and just let it go like that. Here you go. And you let it dry. If it's, there you go, you can just let it, just suck it up a little bit. And then you can let that dry. Then after you let that dry, you can add more colors to it. But what I'll do is I'll use what I have here, and then this is where we can work at what we've just done. So we can go on top, because you can always clean it up. And that one, excuse me, there you go. When it's wet, when it's still wet like this, because you need a little shadow, I'll show you another technique that you can do. You can go in there with the edge of a pencil, or just at the end over here that you have. Here we go. Oh, you can go like this. You can just kind of do some little twiggy stuff. You don't want this. You want this to go down. So you just clean it up again. You can just, and you have to do that when it's still wet. So If you have a used up credit card, toothpick, anything sharp, it just, there you go. Have that in there. And it gives it texture. And grass, it'll give it grass. So that is done there. Then where it's dry, you could use this is called a dual identity pen, which it's like a permanent, it has to be permanent, but one has a dark, deep, no, it's the black. The tip is a fat tip, and one side is a very thin tip. And what you do is okay, it's dry up here. You can outline it like this. You just follow the edge. If your color is this way, you follow, because the tree is here. And then you take it here, and you go like this. And there's a crack here. So you just take the crack that's inside this tree and you go in. And you follow. You don't go where the wet is, just in case. Then you do the same thing here too. You go up here, and then you have another one here. And you have your little branch here. And there's another branch here. And you just kind of follow the branch. Follow the branch down. Here's a little tip here, here. And you don't want to go where there you go. And then what you do is you follow this like this. You go back and forth, because a birch tree has all these little zigzags in it, has all these little areas in. So that's how you do it. And so you just, and now it looks more like and it has these little holes in it. So you kind of follow it like this, and you can have these little areas. So you take a look at your birch tree and just see what it looks like. You can take a picture and just check it out. And here you can, there's a little branch here too. There you go. So this way you can do your little, and then if you want, have a little, there you go. You go here. You can, that's why we leave, I call them sky spots. So sky holes. There you go. You can have a little branch here. And that little one can go down here. So you can just do as many or as much as you want. You can just go back in here and do these little details. Here's a little bird. You put a little bird here, a little one here. And we are just about finished with this one. Thank you for watching this episode. This is Art in 30. My name is Denise Savard.